In an earlier talk, I had said that the Gospel of Luke is known as the Gospel of Prayer because Jesus is shown praying more often in Luke than in the other Gospels. In the text of today, we will come across another incident of Jesus praying alone, of Jesus communing with his Father, of Jesus listening to his Father and petitioning his Father, of Jesus being with his Father. And as he finishes his prayer, he comes to his disciples and asks them two questions. And the first question is that who the crowds think that Jesus was. The reason for this question is not because Jesus was not aware of his identity, not because he was not aware of who he was, but simply because he wanted to know whether people had understood who he was. And the answers are all inadequate. People think that he is John the Baptist. People think that he is Elijah. People think that he is one of the prophets, and these answers are inadequate. They are insufficient. The second question, Jesus asks his disciples about who they think he is, and Peter answers on behalf of the disciples that he is the Christ of God. The English word Christ comes from the Greek Christos, which comes from the Hebrew Messiah, which means Messiah, which means Christos, which means Christ, which means anointed one. So whether we say Messiah, the Hebrew word, or Christos, the Greek word, or Christ, the English word, we mean that Jesus is the anointed one of God. And that is exactly what Peter says. And that is who Jesus is. But immediately after Peter answers, Jesus tells them, say nothing to anyone about this. And it's strange. It's funny. Because Jesus wants to know through the mouth of the disciples whether they know who he is. Then, why this command to silence? Why should we not tell anyone about you? Because Jesus did not want to be misunderstood with regard to the kind of Messiah or Christos or anointed one that he was. The people at that time had an impression that the anointed one would come galloping on a horse. The people at that time had the impression that the one who was Messiah would overthrow the Romans through violence. That the one who was Messiah would win for them a kingdom by waging war. Jesus, of course, was a Messiah who came on the colt of an ass. Jesus was the Messiah who came in humility. Jesus was the Messiah who came not to be served as kings and queens even today want, but Jesus was the Messiah because he was true king who came to serve. And that is why immediately after hearing Peter's proclamation and after commanding the disciples to silence, he tells them about the kind of Messiah he will be. He will be that Messiah who will give his body to be broken and his blood to be shed. He will be that Messiah who will spread out his arms on the cross. He will be that Messiah whom people will look at when they crucify and say, truly, this man was God's Son. If Jesus asked you the question, who do you say that I am? What would your answer be?